So let me just share the screen now. We shall start without wasting any more time. People will keep joining at their own convenient time. So Sun Salutation workshop. So what we are going to focus today in the workshop. Sun Salutation, as we have already heard of, isn't it? In yoga, it is very basic thing, if you would say, but at the same time, very, very important, very authentic, and very ancient practice, right? So Sun Salutation, everyone knows already. Everyone is practicing some in some or the other way, right? Already in everywhere around the globe, in all the practices, whether it is Hatha Yoga practices or Vinyasa Yoga practices, everywhere you are incorporating Sun Salutation in your classes. So Sun Salutation, as I was discussing, everyone around the world is practicing Sun Salutation in some or the other way, isn't it? In all the practices. Some people are doing Sun Salutation for their physical practices. Some people are doing Sun Salutation for their spiritual practices. And there are practices for mindfulness. There are practices for emotional health and everything, right? Today, we are going to discuss about everything here, okay? All the Sun Salutation, normally we know that there is Sun Salutation A, which we normally know as classical, right? Which is the ancient one, the classical Sun Salutation. And then came into existence the Vinyasa one, the Sun Salutation A and B, right? Which we normally do in Vinyasa classes or before your Ashtanga Yoga primary series, right? As a warm-up, as we know, right? We are going to focus on all three today, okay? We are going to focus on all three, keeping the emotional health in mind, right? Keeping the physical health in mind, mental health in mind, and spiritual health in mind. And then in the end, holistically, how to do it, okay? To get all the benefits from it. We are going to work on the cueings. We are going to work on focus. We are going to work on each and every part of Sun Salutation so that later you can decide how you want to go with your practice. All right. So my job will be to give everything from my side. Then in the end, it is your responsibility or your wish how you want to take your practice ahead. All right. So let me just go with the slide. I will directly jump to this one. So we will focus on all aspects like I discussed. We are going to focus on your emotional thing, your mental, your physical, spiritual, and holistic. When I say emotional, what do I mean by emotional? As you know that normally people around the world are doing what type of yoga classes, yoga practices. They are just doing yoga practices because they are emotionally motivated there, right? 108 Sun Salutation they want to do today. Or maybe there is some challenge going on. So what is that? That is emotional thing, isn't it? Something is driving them to do something. So this is more from the emotional side of it. Okay. And mostly I see that 90% of the population is doing the same thing. Emotional side of yoga, right? They are just doing yoga just to balance themselves somehow. They just want to do something. They just want to get some challenges, every day on the mat. So this is what I say. One thing that emotional thing is leading, 80% or 90% of the cases on the mat when it comes to Sun Salutation also. 108, 1008, 10,008, or you keep on going on, right? But today we are going to discuss, even if you want to go like that, you should be knowing certain things before that. Okay. We are going to discuss that as well. And then we are going to see that mental health, what do we mean by mental health here, then physical health here, then spiritual health. So mental health is all about that. How much are you focused in your practices when you're doing Sun Salutation or any yoga practice? And then how much you're focused there, right? Then physical health. What do I mean by physical health? Physical health here means that okay, it's okay, you want to do Sun Salutation for even for spiritual practice or maybe mental practice or maybe emotional practice. But if you're not aware of your own body biomechanics, if you're not aware of your muscle control, if you're not aware of that, how to improve into the posture, if you're not aware of that, what should be the limitation into the posture, then what will happen after your practices? After some days, you're going to get injured. And this is what happens. This is what happens. People get wrist pain, people get lower back pain, people get neck pain in Sun Salutation only. Okay, so we are going to discuss that category as well here, that how in the physical practices as well, so that you can also get the physiological benefits, okay, from the practice, how you can go for it. Okay, and then in the end, spiritual practice for what Sun Salutation is for. Exactly, right? For what the main purpose of the Sun Salutation is, spiritual practice, right? As we know, Sun Salutation, as the name suggests, sun. We know sun, right? Everyone knows sun, right? Salutation, right? Simple namaskar, you can say. Simple namaskar is salutation, right? So bowing in front of the sun, right? Or showing gratitude, right? So in ancient India or in India, you could say that we pray everything. We pray everything. We pray all the planets. We pray all the substances, objectives around us, right? Whether it is tree, whether it is stone, anything, right? So whatever is in the nature, we pray everything. And there is a simple gratitude feeling behind everything, because everything is a part of nature, and nature is nurturing us, and that's why we are praying in gratitude, right? Right. And in ancient India, it is said that everything is a part of God. Definitely, it is a part of God. And we refer sun as a god, right? One of the graha, and it is God, right? So we salute, we just bow down in front of the sun. And then sun salutation have 12 steps, as we know, the traditional one, the classical one. And the 12 step means we are dedicating 12 steps to all the 12 different kind of placements of the sun in an year. Okay. And similarly, we are dedicating all 12 mantras. So we are going to do a practice on mantras also today. So all the 12 mantras are dedicated to what? They are the names of sun god, and at the same time, they're the placement of the sun in each zodiac sign throughout the year. Okay. So that's how we are doing the spiritual practice. Cool. And then after it, we are going to see what? The sun salutation A, which is more physical. Sun salutation B, which is more physical. I say square. You just make it like physical square. It is double, right? Or I would say yang square, right? Which is more demanding, which is basically designed for more physical practices. Okay. But later on with that also, you can get into the spiritual practice. It is all about connection. It is all about awareness, how much you are aware, okay, during the practice. So let's go ahead then.